April 1958. Hollywood was shaken to its core when headlines exploded across every paper. Johnny Stompanato, the notorious lover of screen goddess Lana Turner, was found dead inside her lavish Beverly Hills home. Police swarmed the mansion, sirens flashing. Reporters pressed against the gates. Everyone asked the same question: how could a silver screen goddess end up in a story this bloody? Lana Turner, once sculpted by MGM into the very symbol of beauty, was suddenly dragged into the machinery of the law. Testimonies, police reports, and her tear-stained face, makeup half smeared, became the haunting image splashed across front pages. This was no longer just a Hollywood love scandal. It had become a public trial, a global spectacle. The contrast was almost unbearable. One day, Lana dazzled on the red carpet in white silk, smiling endlessly for photographers. The next, she sat in court, her name and career teetering on the edge. What began as a love affair had erupted into a national tragedy, forcing Hollywood to confront its own shadows. And the question that never stopped echoing: how does a love that once seemed so intoxicating collapse into tragedy and drag a movie star down with it? To understand, we have to go back to the beginning, to Lana Turner's childhood, to the wounds and psychological scars that shaped her fate. It was a cold night in 1930. On the streets of San Francisco, a man collapsed after a smoky card game. That man was Lana's father. She was only 9 years old. The news sliced through her fragile childhood like a knife. His sudden death left her unmoored, forced to face a void she would never truly escape. Her mother, a tough-willed woman, packed up and moved them to California. They scraped by in dingy rented rooms, surviving on meager wages. Lana went to school like the other kids, but her eyes carried a nameless sadness. Friends remembered her as stunningly beautiful for her age, yet always a little lost, always fragile. It was during those years that Lana learned to use her beauty as armor. A smile could win attention, a glance could distract from poverty. But behind that shimmering shield was a heart trembling with the fear of abandonment. Without a father's protection, she spent her life searching for a strong man to fill the void. That hunger for love would drive her, but it was also her Achilles heel, pulling her again and again into passionate but dangerous embraces. From that childhood wound, the seeds of tragedy were planted. When Hollywood's spotlight found her, Lana didn't just step into a dream of fame. She carried an open wound that would dictate every choice in love. Her career began like a Hollywood fairy tale. At 16, she was spotted by chance at a soda fountain and quickly transformed into the sweater girl, a sex symbol America couldn't get enough of. MGM polished her into a jewel. Each appearance on screen filled theaters. Each step on the red carpet set cameras flashing. To the public, Lana Turner was perfection itself, glamorous, untouchable, divine. Ball gowns, jewels, glittering parties, an endless stage to preserve her goddess image. But when the curtain fell, she returned to an empty room where loneliness never let her go. Failed marriages and fleeting romances only deepened the void left by childhood. And then, Johnny Stompanato entered her life. On the surface, he seemed charming, well-dressed, smooth-talking, the kind of man who could make Lana's heart tremble with the illusion of safety. But behind the polished suits was something darker, a notorious playboy with ties to the underworld. At first, he appeared to be the romantic partner she had long craved. Tall, handsome, whispering sweet promises, he made Lana feel sheltered. On the streets of Los Angeles, their glamorous outings earned them the label of a dream couple. But behind the glitter, the truth surfaced. Stompanato was more than a lover, he was a controlling force. Jealous to the extreme, he monitored every call, every step Lana took. If she appeared with a male co-star, Johnny erupted in rage. The adored movie goddess soon found herself trapped in an invisible cage built by the man she thought she loved. Passion turned into shackles. Fights escalated. Nights stretched with tension. Whispered threats filled the silence of closed doors. Friends recalled seeing Turner at parties with forced smiles, her eyes red from tears, yet no one dared intervene. Johnny's cold stare was always close behind. The star who once captivated theaters with a single glance was now ensnared in a toxic romance. On screen, she was powerful. Off screen, she lived in fear. And then came the night. When everything boiled over the night, that would forever link Lana Turner's name to one of Hollywood's darkest scandals. The 4th of April 1958, the Beverly Hills mansion glowed with lights, but inside the air was suffocating. Lana had just returned from an award ceremony, makeup still half intact. In the living room, Johnny's jealousy exploded into shouts and accusations, words as sharp as knives. Her 14-year-old daughter, Cheryl Crane, stood frozen in the corner, watching the nightmare unfold. Johnny's rage was more than verbal. He had often threatened violence, and the fear was palpable. Lana tried to calm him, as she had so many times before, but this time the fire couldn't be contained. In a flash, Cheryl darted from the shadows, clutching a kitchen knife. In the chaos, one thrust ended it all. Johnny Stompanato collapsed in the living room, the thud echoing through the mansion. Lana stood paralyzed. Cheryl dropped the knife, her hands trembling uncontrollably. Minutes later, red police lights swirled outside. Reporters, neighbors, the whole of Beverly Hills crowded the gates. By morning, headlines blared, "Lana Turner's lover, killed in her home." No one spoke of movies or gowns, only of Lana and the tragedy that had unfolded. Hollywood was in shock. Some blamed Turner for letting her love life spiral into catastrophe. Others pitied her as a mother helpless in the face of violence. Either way, her goddess image was forever tainted. This was now Hollywood's darkest love affair, written in blood. The question lingered, why didn't anyone step in before it went too far? The Stompanato case quickly became a courtroom spectacle. Reporters packed the gallery, scribbling every word for front pages. Lana took the stand in a simple black dress, pale and tearful. Every answer she gave felt like a blade reopening the memories of fans who once adored her radiant smile. The trial's focus fell on Cheryl, the 14-year-old who had acted in panic. Her lawyers insisted she had defended her mother from years of threats. The jury listened. The world watched. When the verdict came, Cheryl's act was deemed justifiable homicide in self-defense. The law closed the case, but the public never did. Columns split in two. Some saw Lana as a victim trapped in a toxic love. Others blamed her choices for dragging her daughter into tragedy. Studios fretted, could audiences still accept their goddess on screen? Television replayed the image of Lana weeping in court, a fallen star laid bare. Paparazzi swarmed her house, capturing her every step. From the pinnacle of stardom, she now lived under relentless scrutiny. Every role, every smile, every appearance carried the shadow of scandal. The law had closed its file. But for Lana Turner, the true sentence was living the rest of her life, haunted by one fateful night. Though she continued acting, her image was never the same. To audiences, she was both a screen goddess and the central figure in one of Hollywood's darkest love affairs. Light and shadow became inseparable from her name. She fought to reclaim her career. Imitation of Life, 1959, proved she still had the talent, drawing box office success. But no achievement erased the whispers of Stompanato, of the mansion that night, of a daughter caught in the storm. In the end, Lana Turner left behind a portrait both dazzling and tragic. A glamorous star, a devoted mother, and a woman so desperate for love that it led her into ruin. Her story exposed Hollywood's hidden face behind the satin curtains where shadows no spotlight could banish. When Lana died in 1995, the obituaries remembered not just her glittering career, but the scandal that would forever cling to her name. Admiration and sorrow walked hand in hand. Lana Turner became a symbol of contradiction, radiant on the red carpet, but haunted by the wrong love. That image, smiling in diamonds before the flashbulbs, weeping behind the curtain, remains one of Hollywood's most unforgettable legacies.